Buenos dias. Good morning and good morning. We got a lot to cover on today. So we're going to jump right into it. I definitely hope that you had a great evening, got you some good rest, and are prepared for our trading day. Let's jump into our pre-market. We got Dow futures up 0.35%, S&P futures up 0.49%, NAS futures is up 0.52%. The stock futures are little changed as Wall Street readies for key inflation report, which European market was all green. The European market's higher ahead of U.S. key inflation. Burberry down 4.7%. Asia was mixed. ASX 200 was up 0.35%, which was the most. The Nikkei and Kospi were both up. HSI, Hong Kong, and Shanghai were both down. Shanghai was down 0.82%. Asia mixed markets. Markets mixed as Wall Street gains ahead of U.S. inflation data. Right. For the U.S., the Russell 2K up 1.14%. The VIX, as of right now, is down 3.20%. All right. Let us take a look at this data, since this is what has already come out so far. All right. And we want to make sure we knock this out. This is Forex Factory. So the red folders for today were core CPI month over month, core retail sales month over month, the CPI month over month, and the CPI year over year. Also in that mix was the Empire State Manufacturing Index and the retail sales. Now, for forexfactory.com, for those of you who may not be aware, this is where we go to get a lot of our economic data, especially in the morning. Typically, what happens is when you get to the calendar, you'll see that there's a forecast. And so the object is for the actual data to be compared to what's forecast. And normally what will happen is it's actually color coded for the results. So if we see green under actual, usually that will mean that that was something that was better for the economy, that it was green, even if we don't understand all the inner workings of the actual topic itself. When we see red, that's typically considered, bad for the economy. Put the word bad in quotations, not as great. And then the black ones is usually neutral. So based on the data here so far, we've seen mostly neutral, but a little bit of red. So that may or may not have a large effect on what happens for today. But at least we know that everything wasn't red. We had a little bit of neutral in there as well. The thing that stood out for me was the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which was, the actual was, negative 9.9. It was negative 15.6. So that number right there was kind of the biggest change. But for the rest of the day, we have 10 o'clock a.m. We've got actually the rest of the day we have yellow folders over here on Forex Factory. But the business inventory month over month and the NAHB housing market index are also at 10 o'clock. Tentative is mortgage delinquencies, which is actually a factor. 10:30 crude oil inventories. 3:20 FOMC member Bowman speaks. And then 4 o'clock, the tick long-term purchases. So that's what we have going on. Yellow folders after as of 10 o'clock today. Now, this is investing.com over here. And so we had a little bit of movement over here. It started reporting at 8:30. But at 7 o'clock, we started seeing some one-star events happening as well that were neutral in terms of its impact. This is the same core data, so I won't go over all of it, but I will highlight that the core CPI month over month for April was 3 stars. The retail sales month over month for April was also 3 stars. The CPI year over year for April and the month over month for April were also 3 stars. So it doesn't necessarily translate. Again, 3 stars over here may not always mean red folder, over on the other side, but for however they decide to measure that, that's what it means on each individual site. This is the CPI index. This is the New York State Manufacturing Index. Was 2 stars over here. Real earnings month over month, retail control month over month, both for April. Is also here, which was neutral. Retail control month over month was 2 stars, and retail sales month over month 3 stars. This was not great for the economy, according to the last projection or forecast. That's the retail sales month over month for April. So I guess that was lower than what was anticipated. Here are business inventories month over month, 2 stars. This is starting at 10 o'clock. Supervisor, Fed Vice Chair for Supervision Barr speaks at 10 o'clock. That's 2 stars. This is the NAHB Housing Index. That's 1 star over here. Retail inventories excluding auto for March, 2 stars. At 10:30, crude oil inventories, 3 stars, no surprise there. And then we have a run of the oil or crude oil related activities. You got the EIA refinery crude runs week over week. That's a 1 star along with crude oil imports, but the Cushing crude oil inventories is 2 stars. And then we go in a run starting again at 10:30 of a bunch of 1 star events. And that's the distillate fuel production, EIA weekly distillate stocks, the gasoline production, heating oil stockpiles, and the EIA weekly refinery utilization rates week over week. Our gasoline inventories, that's also 1 star. That's at 10:30. The Cleveland CPI at 11 o'clock, that's month over month for April, was 1 star. Noon, we got the Atlanta Fed GDP Now Q2. That's 2 stars at noon. Also at 2 stars, FOMC member Kashkari speaks. And then 3:20, FOMC member Bowman speaks. So some of these was not listed on, the Forex Factory calendar. Not a bad thing. Again, they're both looking for different things to report, but investing.com seems to have, a lot more details in what they're presenting in terms of what they look for. At 4 o'clock, the U.S. foreign buying T-bonds for March is 1 star. Also, the overall net capital flow for March is 1 star. This is all at 4 o'clock. There's 2 stars for the tick net long-term transactions for March. And then the final thing is the tick long-term transactions, including swaps for March, and that's 1 star. So this one is the 2 star with the long-term transactions, and then 1 star for the including swap. So we still have those speakers happening. We got the Atlanta Fed, GDP Now, Cushing oil inventories. We got a little bit more sprinkled in for the afternoon. So we definitely want to be aware, especially once we hit noon, that there's some speaking going on for sure. All right. Let's take a look at Mancini before we look at earnings. After 2 days of basing, 52.40 through 14, patience paid in SPX. I was looking for a breakout of 52.50. We hit it. Basing here all night. The plan, CPI at 8:30. Expect noise for the first 30 minutes. Watch for failed breakdowns. 52.35, 52.24 supports to keep. 52.62, 52.72, and 52.80 live. There's a healthy dip at 52.24. So 52.24 is what I'll be putting on the chart. And I will do it with a rectangle, 52.24. Get that moving, right? And we are marking this so that we know where Mancini's numbers are, right? So let's do, I'll do 52.36 up here, somewhere in there. I'm going to drag this down for 52.24. Right about right there. That's fine. And we'll just drag this over a little bit. Yep. And change the color, and we're good. It's the red. All right. So these are his numbers for today. This is what happened. This is on the 15-minute chart on SPX. Right now, this is what happened yesterday. Let me zoom this in. Go like this. So we had the breakout, and at first it pushed up and retested, and then it dropped. All of a sudden, at about 2 o'clock, it started heading up, and that's when it not only did it, it had already broken past the 15, but it had broken past the only high of the day that it had, or shall I say the high of the day that it had, and continued on. So that was a pretty strong push, especially since it also broke past this high over here from May 10th. So that was sitting pretty up there at the top. And then it gapped up this morning. So let's mark that gap real quick. And of course, it may and or may not fill that gap on today, but we all know just mainly the way the data gets processed by different people, different companies, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there may or may not be something major happening, but we definitely want to make sure we acknowledge what we are seeing on the chart. So that's the gap for today. This is a 62, 46 to 62. It's a nice little jump up. To me, all that's really saying, as far as I'm concerned, is just really saying that the CPI wasn't as bad as expected. That's not a factual statement, but I'm saying that's what it makes me feel like. If there would have been more red, it probably would have been more of a negative effect opening this morning, but it could always turn around. What I'm looking for is I'm just checking to see on the 15-minute chart if there's any more levels, recent levels that I can mark to be aware of once we're above, since we're up in the air a little bit up here. So what I'm going to do is just give this a different color. And I'm going to take one step up, a couple steps up to the daily just to check. Because if this is all-time highs, that means we won't find anything. And that seems to be what the deal is. So, yeah, we're all the way up there. So we're not going to, we'll just mark it and leave it at that then. So there's nothing going back the other way. And the reason why I was looking to see if there's any other level was to see if this was going to happen. So look for a spot where the price might turn around. And so just so happens that this is the spot. So we'll see what goes down for the rest of our time frame. So I'm just going to put this just as a line to mark. And this one. So now we have a Mancini block right here. We have the gap here where it gapped up. We're waiting for it to push to see if it'll push down. And then now we've marked the 15 minutes so far. We don't obviously know what's going to happen. We haven't even had 15 minutes of movement yet, but at least we have the lines marked so we can be on the lookout and check back. All right. So that's what's going down with that. So let's take a look at earnings real quick. See what's going down with earnings. Quite a bit of stuff going on when it comes to earnings. Good morning, Janae, Lady T. Good morning, Lisa Henry. Good morning. I see S. Jones. Good morning. Warder Wilson. Good morning, and good morning, Tamar. So here's what we got going on for Wednesday. This morning, Monday.com reported Dynatrace HUD 8. I believe HUD 8 is in the crypto space. Dole, Accurex, Pharmaceuticals, Cresco Labs, Arcos Dorados, which has an M that looks exactly like McDonald's. Not trying to start no drama. Make My Trip, Synergy, Biopath Holdings. That was all before the open. After the close today, Cisco, Grab, Copa Airlines, Innovative, Maxion, which I believe, so Cisco's in the tech space. I believe Maxion is in the tech space. Iris Energy, Core, Fluent, Super League, and ZTO Express is after the market on today. Tomorrow, we got Walmart, Baidu, JD.com, John Deere, Nice, Lightspeed, Under Armour, Global Ship Lease, ADS, and Canada Goose. So obviously Walmart is a big deal. Both of these, Baidu and JD.com, if I'm not mistaken, are both based in Asia. So, and of course, most people have heard of John Deere and Under Armour. So I don't know if they're shakers in their space, but I do know that I've been hearing enough about them that they are of note. After close on Thursday is Applied Material. They actually would provide the equipment to the foundries that make the semiconductors, like Intel and Taiwan Semiconductor, for example. Take-Two Interactive is the video game. And so there's a little bit going on in various spaces. I don't know if there's any more shaking the house, for lack of better phrasing, that may happen for this week. May started May 1st. We picked a strategy that we wanted to learn or test, and we ran it. We've been running it all of May. It's up to you, you know, what you want to run. We've been doing it in our sim. The strategy that I've been working on is the 15-minute breakout and iron condors. So those are the two that I like the most. As sellers, as option sellers, having strategies helps us because we can get into that consistent flow of making things work. You can repeat it and keep going back to it over and over again. We can work our way towards profitability. The thing about the iron condors for me is that you can get, 2 for 1, basically, reusing collateral. So the art, quote unquote, art of iron condor is knowing when to get in on the other side before you close. That way you can take advantage of the collateral. If you have any tickers, anything you would like charted, please drop those as well, and we will take a look at them. I will be looking at Triple Q. We already did SPX. Triple Q and Russell 2000 are at the top of the list. And if we don't get in too many tickers, we'll just keep it moving. But we'll start with those and wait for you guys to post some. All right. So let's do Triple Q first. And there are, we definitely can take a look at a couple of the market movers as well and get an idea of who's doing what this morning. And I see, I'm not familiar with some of these. We got positive movers and negative movers, apparently. All right. So, yeah, I don't recognize the majority of these companies, but I do recognize Albemarle, which is over here. Surprised they're that low. And I see BB for Blackberry, I think is the name of it. The old school phone. All right. I missed that BlackBerry Pearl. That was my favorite phone. All right. So here we go. This is Triple Q. Looking at Triple Q because, well, obviously because I'm a tech guy. So this is where I like to play, the playground I like to be in. But because our primary heavy hitters in terms of technology are in this space, what they call Mount Fang. They keep changing the names, but it's Microsoft, Tesla, now it's Meta, it was Facebook, Alphabet, Netflix, Google. They call it that Mount Fang. Apple is in there too. Apple. So those are in the tech sector. So Triple Q has my attention for the most part. I'm on the monthly chart. And really, I'm just about to mark the levels that I see, turnarounds that have happened. And so I'm starting with the monthly and dropping down. So obviously we're at a high. Okay, this is a recent high, but it's an all-time high. And you'll see, the market has been pushing up really well since December. So this is the weekly. This is just showing that it has retested this high point. It is definitely trying to break through there. There's a couple different channels that I think, we can take a look at, but I will be starting with this one. All right. And what this is just showing me is the direction. We know that we are trending up in this situation, right? And I've tried to make sure a couple wicks are touching, as many wicks as possible, really. So in this situation, we got quite a few wicks establishing a trend moving upward. I personally like to make it a channel and go up here, let's say. There's a wick touching here. You could pull this down in here, and there's wicks being touched all across here, right? And then you can make it, a third one if you wanted to. There are wicks touching. You can move this one down. So I see, three possible levels, but for the sake of all of the lines, I'll just go with the widest levels here. But we can still see on the weekly that it's trying to push up past this point. And this when this came down and these buyers pushed up right here, this was a level. This was a nice zone where that's been happening on the weekly chart, right? So it gives me the impression that the buyers want to do a little something. So here we got the gap up on the NASDAQ. Okay. And this is on the daily. So they gapped up past this monthly price point. That's what that blue line is. Now, I would encourage you to, when you're looking at gaps, try to look and see, because this is what I notice. Whenever I see a gap, at least recently, it is gapped up past a zone, a previous zone, a strong point in the past. The force that it takes, that's why it's a gap. That's why gaps are important, in my opinion, because the force that it takes to have to push up past a previous strong point, you figure price turned around 1, 2, 3. Not only did it price turn around these 3 times higher than these 2, but then you got this up here that they had to challenge as well. So, but to get past these highs right here, you have to have enough force to be able to do it. And so that gap is pressure. That's at least that's the way I look at it. Right. So it may come down and start filling that gap. But as of right now, that is the mode that it seems to be in, is gapping up, and like the whole market may be wanting to create a new high is what it looks like. So this one has a tiny bit more to go before it's at this high, which is 449. What is this? Okay, so it's literally 39-cent difference before being at the high. So this is the gap. I'm gonna mark this. On my chart, I marked gaps in some type of purple. There was no rhyme or reason to it. It just made sense when I started charting. So this is what I'm marking as the gap right here. There's another gap here, down here. All right. So we got two gaps. So price is sitting up above this recent gap that it may even be very well pushing down through. So in this case, like, I don't worry about getting in. Right now it's 9:51. I don't worry about getting in this soon anyway. But there's two directions that this could, you may want to start looking down here, for lack of better phrasing, to see if there's a zone. Also note there's another gap down here. So that's three gaps on triple Q. Three gaps on triple Q happening right there. So one thing is not a problem is support. Let me say that, because there's plenty of stuff happening here. So yeah, to be on the safe side, you can look at that a couple different ways. But the one thing I will say is, with this is going to move the way it moves, always has, always will. So I would give this some time before I even start making decisions, but just to mark it and know what the where the gaps are and what the potential is, because you can think call credit spread and go up here without giving it enough time. But if it decides to shoot up, now you're in trouble, because sometimes this is the leg in, base and the leg out, but this could also go up and head up that way. So we want to give it time and definitely watch it, even though we are looking at that on the daily chart. So, but as far as the 4 hour is concerned, this is a cheer formation here, and it is retesting above that that monthly price line. So, for whatever that is worth. Okay. All right. So I see in the chat box, UPS. All right, let's take a look at UPS, Google, and Oxy. All right. I just had a note pop up about Oxy because I had that on my list as well. I see GOOG. All right, we're gonna clear this drawing set. And man, so last night I was charting, right? And well, actually, I was more so charting to put in like orders in my sim. And I was seeing some good stuff too. I was like, oh man, this is a good run right here. Like, these charts was looking good. And soon as I got all like happy feels, it dawns on me, man, CPI is tomorrow, dude. So ain't none of that, even though it is the same, ain't none of that stuff you charting don't even get a piece of happy yet, player, because nah. Oh, that could be wrecked by 9:15. Well, let's say 9:45. So, but it was all tech stuff too. You know how it is. So this is what we got for monthly. Google up there at its high. The sellers are rejecting it, but I don't think it makes a difference at this point. It's basing on the weekly. Weekly is basing up there, and I would put my line, probably do something like this for this bottom line, for trend line. It is not, it is up there at the seller zone at the line, holding the guys and changing hand, right? Because it's not getting rejected at the bottom. And that's what anybody who is seeing this probably want that, because that means Google is going to be potentially heading up, but it's rejecting it, and it is still staying strong. Right. So I'll put the channel right there. You can move that pretty much anywhere in here and still hit 2 points, but I noticed that there's some strong rejection right here on this candle. The buyers ended up pushing up, and we got a couple in here that are touches. So I'm okay with this as a channel. Definitely is establishing this in the right direction. In terms of formation, leg in, 2 in the base, leg out. It's not as strong of a leg out, but this week is not complete yet. But in terms of where it is, we have on the daily, I just switched to the daily. So we don't have really the seller zone, quote unquote seller zone on the daily chart would be this candle. This will be the gap up, base, and the gap down right here. So that's how I'm looking at this in terms of that. It is basically being rejected up here in terms of what it's doing on the daily chart in the seller zone. There's a gap here. We want to definitely acknowledge. And then the buyer zone is below that gap. Right? Those of you who may not be aware, if you use Thinkorswim, when you are charting on Thinkorswim at your desktop, laptop, either one, anything with a keyboard, really, you can duplicate your lines by just hitting the space bar. A lot of times I'll do right click and duplicate, because even though I use the space bar all the time to do the lines, I always end up forgetting, but you can do that. It is a nice little quick time saver. Buyer zone down here, leg in, base, leg.
Hey, when you say you can duplicate the lines by hitting the space bar, does it have to be on the line, or how do you anywhere you can just hit the space bar and it'll automatically put a line on?
Thank you. Great question. Once you click on the line and select it, it'll change colors.
Uh-huh.
As soon as you see it change colors, that's when you can
okay.
Because right now, if I'm hitting my space bar right now and nothing's
happening. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. As soon as you see those double squares, you in there. Yep. Great question. I should have clarified that too. So that's what we got for the buyer zone down here, the seller zone up here. So as of right now, watching this retest, if I was going to do anything with Alphabet, you can, again, Triple Q is in the same situation, right? The whole market, you could say, is in the same situation, but definitely tech stuff where it's right at that line where it could pop, which means it could breach you on that call credit spread side. All right. So right now is the time to be definitely mindful of which direction you want to go. Up here, so I'm on the 4 hour, and there is a cheer right here, right, which is essentially this cheer that we see here on the 4-hour, if we go to the daily, that's essentially what all of this is in here, right? So when we can zero in and tell, do it this way. So if we do it like this, all right, just to highlight it so we'll know where it is. We go to the 4-hour. That's what this section is. So I was just looking for another formation on the 4-hour to say, well, where's the next level up that we could put a line in and use that as resistance. So about this area is where I will be looking. Obviously, this is not investment advice. Just letting you know how I start investigating. So in this case, I can say, well, do I think Google is about to gap up over that, or it could. It doesn't have earnings coming up, but it does have a dividend payment. I think this may be their first dividend payment, if I'm not mistaken. This might be their first one. Something like that. I remember hearing some news about it being a big deal with them. So you got the 4-hour. I don't know what just happened to my lines. Did my chart switch to the other Google? Is that what happened? Yeah. Okay, so let's say I was going to get into this. I'll be looking at then 177 above current price just to get a look-see. See what's happening. So premiums are okay. 175. So if we took 172.9 and added this 3 to that, that's going to put us in that area. All right. So if we did let's go 172.96, which is current price plus 3.2. That number over here is volatility. And we add and subtracted that number to get what our range that we should go outside of. So, my case, you could do 176. So that puts you at 89% out the money, but the next one down is 71% out the money. So, in terms of that leg, but that's 13 cents. Now, I wouldn't be all that stoked about this amount, but if I was going to get in here, I'll be looking at an iron condor in this situation. And the only reason why is because when I look at this price, there's some resistance heading back down this way. At the very least, I'm looking at 167 as resistance. So I'll be looking to see, is there something down there at 167? So I'll be doing so I'll do 170 because that's almost 80% out the money, right? So in that regard, I would feel comfortable doing the iron condor. All right, but I won't even place this trade yet until I give that digestion a little bit more time from that CPI. 10:15 is about when I usually start. 10:30 really is 10:30. That's when I really start trying to start putting stuff in. So we're gonna go back to SPX, then we're gonna go to Oxy. But those are my numbers for Google, right? See, we are still above. We are still within that 15-minute zone for right now. There's some of us who trade the breakout, 15-minute breakout. And so we would not be doing anything yet if you're doing this on SPX. You know what I'm going to do? What time is it? 10:05. Okay. Did I do Oxy already? Can't remember. I feel like I did. Did I do Oxy? No, I didn't do Oxy. This is accidental, not Oxycontin. Okay? Be on the safe side. It's the monthly. But accidental. OXY Petroleum. It has been in its own little channel as of recently. It's the Occidental Network over here. So this is what I'm referring to. You can, actually, there's a couple of different places we can put this line because it has been channeling right here. And what I usually do in this case is just go like this. There's even a couple spots that this can go in terms of, and I'm looking back here to see where price has touched this line before, but we also could have put it lower because it's touched, bounced off in multiple areas here as well. So even if we would have brought this line down, but I'm cool with where it is right now. My thing is just to try to get as many touches as possible, but not overthink it too far. And so here's the seller zone right here. And that's important, the not overthinking, because I'm an expert at that. So for the seller zone, leg in, base, leg out on the monthly chart, we got one strong seller zone here. It looks like it's trying to form a seller zone as well. And then we have a buyer zone that's sitting right on top of it. Right there. And then we have a strong buyer zone down here. If this thing breaks through there, I'll be looking to see what happens right here. This hold is two strong buyer zones, in my opinion, right by each other. And you could also draw a trend line going up from here to here. I won't do it, but that's another one. So there's a this would probably fall into maybe the rising wedge category, or I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on all of those different ones because they can have a continuation and a reversal pattern looking just alike. So so it all depends. I might think that this is a bullish wedge, and then it might end up being a rising wedge, which has the same look to it. So but I do recognize that this is some type of formation here. All right. That's the monthly, weekly. Ooh. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mary J. Blige. I'm going down. That's exactly what's happening right here. I'm sorry. Introducing Rolls Royce. I'm going down. Because dude was a dude leading in the first time.
Listen, I made a post about that, and I was in my post on Facebook. I was like, "Where was Rolls Royce going down to?" And somebody replied back and was like, "Give me your phone. You got better things to do with your mind
right?
than to be thinking about where Rolls Royce was going."
Didn't Rolls Royce do car wash? That was them too, right?
You're not asking me. I didn't even know it was Rolls Royce. I just was like,
oh my God, come on, man.
Like, where are we going to? I didn't know the people.
I thought you knew that.
No.
Oh my God.
No, did not.
You got to be kidding me. Thought for sure you would have known that. I thought, I mean, I'm a 70s baby, so I thought it was so this
I mean,
channel.
I'm a 70 babies too. It's just 70s baby, but I don't know the people. I know the
Yeah.
song, I don't know the people.
No, I was gonna say I'm a 70s baby, so their some of their songs is like when I hear when I find out that they were the ones singing the song, I'll be like, oh, like because I knew the song but didn't know the singer. Because I think they did like the Wish Upon a Star song, and I thought they did I Want to Get Next to You and Love Don't Live Here Anymore or something like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I know they did Car Wash.
Car Wash.
Yeah, because I think that's how I heard who they were.
Whoa.
So
Oh goodness.
they had some hits.
Yeah, some hits. Where they went?
Yeah,
Where they went though? Where they at though?
Say it again.
I said, where they at though? What happened after the hits?
Listen, everybody, they, I would imagine after all this time, they got them AARP cars, fam. They rocking the
Rolling with the
AARP.
AARP. Okay.
But let me tell you something. From what I'm seeing recently, the one thing that I love about I would say within the past 5 years, I don't know who figured it out, but somebody finally figured out that you can do good music till you die. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Aerosmith and them is in their 70s.
Yeah.
And them cats are still touring. Like Bon Jovi, them cats are still all the rock bands from the 70s and 80s, like it don't really, shoot. The Mary Jane girls is doing stuff.
Well, did anybody see the TikTok where folks is mad with Anita Baker because I guess 15 minutes before the show she canceled it. Folks was mad.
Ooh.
He said, "Ooh, yeah." Folks was real mad about that.
But what made her cancel it? Though I'm pretty sure that was something.
I mean, right? Somebody was like, one of the people was like, so if somebody at this age is touring, it's because they need the money, and something obviously must have happened because this person wouldn't have been like letting it go if they didn't have to.
They said that if somebody is touring at that age, they need the money.
They probably need the money.
Man, I'm on the opposite side of that.
Okay.
Well, that I'm a little bit biased because I have a background in it, so I see it differently. But somebody like Anita Baker, I'm not saying that she don't need the money, but what I am saying is somebody like Anita Baker who has all of those hits, like she got a fan base that, she's not releasing albums on a regular basis, so I guess I can see the need the money side. Regular basis meaning like every year or nothing like that. But with the amount of people that I've been seeing, like that come on her, make appearances on her tour, like Fantasia, she has the opportunity to access another fan base. So for her, it's basically reaching a new generation.
Potentially could be, yeah, but touring is so hard on the body and on, I mean, from what I understand, of course, I've never toured.
It is.
It's hard on the body and hard on the system and hard on the resources. So for you to bring all the pieces together to run a tour means you probably need the money. So, Michelle said that they said she didn't show up for sound check that day, so the concert probably could have been canceled earlier. But I feel like, because of the fact, and I'm kind of on the other side of you, I think, because of the fact that she does have so many hits and such a good, strong stream of music, there's other ways for her to reach the new generation than going on tour. Because if you go on tour, you're going to grab the people who know you. Because if Anita Baker goes on tour, the millennials of now, the 20s and the 30s are like, who? So the people who are going to go to an Anita Baker concert aren't the people who she's trying to introduce to the music, but they would be people who already know her music. So, I mean, and with social media, there's other ways for her to really like hire, they could spend the money on influencers. They could do other things to get her music out to this generation that doesn't include a tour. I mean, it's my thoughts, just my thoughts.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I can say from the touring side, some of that has. You're correct in everything you're saying, but I'm saying as a musician touring, it gets to a point where you love what you do so much that you do
I
it
get
for
that.
free.
Mhm.
So even if, let's say, Anita Baker had enough investments where she didn't have to tour anymore, I could see her being somebody that still would be touring. Patti LaBelle is doing it.
Yeah,
You know, now they don't have a heavy touring schedule,
right.
but you know, it's a lot of folks that's like, you know, I
Or
love what
see it
I do.
live.
So
Yeah, I
even if
think,
I'm
I mean,
not
there's
necessarily
nothing
secure, I'm
like
still gonna be doing it, you know?
there's nothing like seeing, I mean, there's nothing like two things. There's nothing like seeing it live, and there's nothing like performing it live. I mean, as a singer,
100%
to sing
true.
in the studio is one thing. Now, this I have done. To sing in the studio is one thing. To sing live and have the live energy is a whole nother ball game.
Totally
So
different ball game.
and if you're one who really wants that and desires the feel of that, and as an artist who's sung for all these years, probably so. She's probably missing it. I definitely could see why you would desire to go live or to go
Yeah.
do the touring piece, because it's just a different vibe. Definitely when you're singing it live, you pull
And
from the
it
energy
is
of
an
the
older
people,
business
and
model too.
yeah, that's
It
true.
is an older business model. There's no doubt about that. Older business model meaning that was the
Mhm.
standard for everybody. You come up with a song, you album, you tour to promote it. Like so, you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
they still, you know, could be still caught up in that mode, but but you know, I got the impression that she's one of the few that's like, you know, shoot, Lionel Richie's still out here doing his hitting
Some
hitting
Earth,
his
Wind, and
band.
Fire out there. What are y'all doing?
You know, like
What are y'all doing
they,
out
they
here?
got to make
What is
Frankie
this?
Beverly
Voice
sit
is
down.
gone. Everything. What are you doing?
They forcing Frankie Beverly to sit down.
Yeah, he needs to. I saw him
Good,
singing. Like, come on,
good. They
come
basically
on.
putting him out. They putting that cat out the pasture. You know what I'm saying?
Like, bro, let's just rest on your laurels. Let's go.
Right, right. They're like, this dude is on something else. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. We on a whole different conversation based on music. So this is the channel. Let's tell how many people dived off. Out here to chart. I ain't trying to hear y'all musical accolades. What y'all doing? So this is the daily, and this has been on the downtrend, everybody. These two lines that I put in here are actually from this is really a gap here. Let me switch that to purple line for a gap. We got a little bit of a gap down here. And all right. So we got, and honestly, not only do we have this gap, but you can almost say, if you wanted to, you could see this as a cheer formation right here. Leg in base with a gap up right here. Could also do that for that formation. And delete this. So if you chose to do that, or you have all of this, this is one of those areas where price has turned around multiple times in this area. So there's no reason why we couldn't put that there. Since this is dropping, Oxy is dropping, I would be doing a call credit spread up here if I'm looking at this. And you probably never get a lot of premiums right now. I got a call credit spread in here. That's funny. Okay. Premiums might not be that great, but this would be about 76% out the money if you wanted to look at that. Let's see. Should be what, 10 cent maybe? We got 12 cent. All right. Still 19. Yeah, I'm okay with putting this in. Let's see. YouTube AM. So that's what I would do with Oxy. I wouldn't worry about the put credit spread right now. Ward Wilson said, is George Clinton still touring? He actually, I believe, finally, I ain't gonna lie, I wish he was, but I think he finally, I think my brother said that he may have finally stopped, but I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm like less than a half a mile from this club called the Eagles Club. And George Clinton was a regular at the Eagles Club. My brother actually got in the news because he took a picture. My brother's a musician and inspirational rap artist. And so his picture that he took with George Clinton made the news around town. So that was really cool, man. George Clinton has been coming here for years, man. So he yeah, we are definitely Parliament fans. My brother was going up to, he would go up to the Eagles Club. When he was too young to get in. He was going up to the Eagles Club and just standing out there and talking to them, like talking to, you know what I'm saying? He was like he was going up there to he was like, man, George Clinton is coming. I ain't got to go in to see him. I just want to say hi. So he did that a lot. I'm looking for whoever. I got Oxy, I got Google. I was looking to see if there was any other ticker before we Google Oxy. UPS was the other one. All right. I'm hearing the scratching sound. All right. Here we go. UPS. If you trade FedEx, I would highly suggest taking a look at UPS as well. Not to trade it, but just to be aware of that is their competition. It always helps, in my opinion, to at least know what the competitors are doing. And sometimes you might find that one stock trades, even though you might be wanting to trade one stock, one of its competitors might move better or more, or, you know, have a clearer chart, for example. We'll do this, and then we'll swing back to SPX, see if anything has going down, and keep it moving from there. So I'm going to put this to acknowledge this where it has been being rejected on the monthly chart for UPS, and then I'll put this one up here. And this line can really go probably anywhere, but I like the amount of touches that it's getting right there without cutting through a candle. So, but lately UPS has had that drop off, but it is certainly trying to retest, and looks like it's trying to head up. It is in this channel right now on the weekly, and what I see is a zone on top of a zone. Leg in, 2 in a base, leg out right here. So I would say 153 is where that distal line would go up here. And then this is the buyer zone for the weekly. Leg in, base, leg out. Right here. This candle closed above the high of this lower day. Okay. And then this next one, so these 3 candles have closed above the high, which was signal to me that it was going to move its way up. So this rejection by the sellers is something I definitely would be paying attention to in terms of that. But we still got the downtrend. This looks like one of those descending triangle type formations on the weekly. See, I'm hearing the scratching sound you were talking about, Alyssa, but I'm not moving. So I don't so I don't know what is causing that. I'm hearing I can hear it, but I'm not moving in any way. Now I am. Now I am moving, but before I wasn't. I'm just trying to see what the heck this is, what the going zones is. But I'm glad you pointed that out. All right, on the daily, we have a gap right here, which looks like it's trying to make its way back through there. All right, so we got a tiny bit of a gap. Yeah. Leg in, base, leg out. Is how I would look at that. It's literally a zone. These zones are coming so close together. This is a trend right here, but there's no reason why it can't break that trend, I guess. So let's go down here, move up. Let's say we put that about right there. And right, so that's the uptrend right there. You can duplicate that. Something like that. There's a couple different things you can do here. You can even go higher if you wanted to, but I think where it broke in this section, so I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that it broke right there. So this would be a decent day channel. This definitely resembles the bearish flag. This is what this looks like. This comes down from this way, and it looks like it could either go back up and come down, something like that. Who knows? But that's what I see in terms of what it's doing. But in terms of the actual zones that we would need, this probably would be leg in, base, leg out. This probably would be the zone. All of them are hitting this zone up here. And then I'll be looking to see if there's something up here a little bit higher. Probably leg in, base, leg out. This small leg out, which is garbage, but but that's what I'm seeing. I do like this formation down here, but it just has 3 candles in the base. So in this case, I'll be looking to say, okay, do I see any formations on the weekly, which would be about 159 if I'm trying to get out of the way of price. I guess 145 would be too close. This is pushing down. So if I was looking up, I'll be looking at a call credit spread here at the top. 150. Now that's not to say there'd be any premiums here, but that's where I'll start looking. So if we were doing 148 plus 3.5, we'll say 151. So we would need to be outside of 151. Yep. So that would be no premiums for the 17th. We're trying to expire on the 17th. That would only be. I'll make sure I give you the number. Oops. Let's see. Try it again. Because that's 93% out the money, which is great. You are out the money. That's 6 cents. Now, 77% out the money. 77% off the money would get you 27 cents. I'm laughing because I don't know how I feel about 77% off the money. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say YouTube AM, and then I'm gonna put in my notes. This is the trade our listener would take.
I need to get me a chicken graphic, so that way when you say that I can put up the chicken.
This is a trade our listener would take. This is 70. This is like 76% off the money.
That's a great place, buddy.
I know. I'm not knocking it. I'm literally admitting that is stuff be too close for me.
Mi hermano.
I know. I'm trying.
Hey, bueno.
I'm trying. I really am. I'll say this. I'm definitely more likely to do it when I see it's clearly moving away.
Yeah, okay. But by that time, it's not 76 anymore. It's in the 80s, which is going to be less money.
You right. You are so right. You are so right.
Listen, this is my thing with not just with you, and I'm just going to talk about in general. But when we chart our price action and we look for candle patterns, and you chart, this is where the overthinking really works against you. But not you, but works against you. That if you've done all the things that you know to do as far as checking your charts, seeing the trend, if you want to go into MACDs and RSIs or whatever you're going to use, then you got to trust that. If you've done the research and you say, I think this is a good spot, you got to trust that and pull the trigger. I know it's easier said than done. I get it. But I'm saying, you just pull the trigger. And if it starts not doing what you want it to do, you buy the close. You don't have to wait. We don't have to wait till expiration, but we want to because we want it to do what we want it to do. But if it starts really looking like it's not going to do what you want it to do, then you buy to close it and be done.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that sounds good.
You right. I mean, hey, I will pull the trigger. I just won't be using the same caliber of bullets that you do. That's all.
You're gonna use blanks. I'm gonna shoot blanks.
No, I'm a shoot. It's just it's gonna be something in there.
A different trigger. You're gonna use a different type of gun. Where I might shoot the 9mm. You gonna shoot a 25.
It's more potent.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot a 9mm. You gonna shoot a 25. One of us
I'm gonna do 9mm. 9mm. It's just that you're doing something with a laser pointer on it. That's all that is. That's the difference.
I got you.
You got the laser pointer joint popping off. All right. Let's do the daily. Oh, this is a daily. All right. 4 hour. And just taking a peek at the 4 hour, seeing if there's any price lines in there. Nothing of note. So that's what I would do for UPS. All right. Let me see. Yeah. So we're in a UPS trade. The other thing I'm working on, it's been very difficult for me to do, but I'm working on it. So Oxy didn't work. I'm going to close this one. So what I do is I will watch this, but I'll put on my close order after market close so that I'll put on the bracket order for the take profit and the 20% stop. So I do it when the market closed so I can be prepared for the next day. That's how I do it. Everybody's different. Some put it on at once, but I'm working on that. Because the real thing I'm working on is actually using the stop more consistently. That's really what's happening. SPX. 15-minute. No breakout yet, but it look like it's trying. All right. Look like it's trying. It's trying to do a little something. We'll see. Y'all can keep an eye on that one. Always good to set alerts. This is where you can set an alert if you want to do the breakout. Matter of fact, let me show you. You could do right if you're thinkorswim, you can right click, do create alert. And I usually just say if the mark is, you can do is at or above, and then hit create. This is going to be above that. So really the question is, let me rephrase that. If I was to create that line right there at 52.79, it would be showing up right away. But if you want to put it up a little bit to say, okay, well, if it breaks out and starts heading up a little bit higher, you know, you can make a determination of what you deem is higher. If you say 52, let's say 52.83, create alert, something like that. 52.8408, that's fine. We'll say, no, just do breakout. Bullish. Then you can get notified with a sound. They'll pay a bell, send an email, send push to mobile devices. I usually just do these two, and then I'll get the email and it touches it. Very convenient.
I need to know how to make it, like sometimes it'll push to my, like it'll send me a notification for an alert, and if I'm like not looking at that screen, I don't see it, and I'm not getting it coming to anywhere but the screen. And then I'm like, I hear the sound, but if I don't get to that screen immediately, I don't even see what it said, and there's no way for me to see that which one triggered.
Actually, give me a second, and let's see. Okay, I'll look forward to it in 1 second, Alyssa.
Okay.
Let me just mark. I'm going to mark this. I probably have said this ad nauseum, but one of the reasons why I like Russell is because it moves. It's a cash settled index, but it moves differently than SPX, and at least recently there will be a breakout happening. That's not it'll happen with Russell, but it's not happening with SPX yet. And so that PDT hack breakout situation can prove to be interesting, and I've been able to get in some stuff sooner, some trades sooner, just because it's PDT hack work. This would have been a good, seeing this earlier would have been a good time to at least put something in on the CCS side, going up as an example, because this is a great push out right here. Obviously, it's turning around, so I would have been looking to see what could be the point back here. Is where I usually look to see if there's a point where it could bounce and turn back around. But as of right now, it is sitting right on top of the gap. Okay, so let me see here. So you wanted, I thought there was a way on here. Because what you wanted to do is you wanted to stay on the screen for a while, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't see the setting on here, but I thought I read somewhere where it would say like persistent. They use a phrase like persistent.
I even see the send push notification to mobile device. Where are you at on here? How'd you get here?
I just right clicked on the desktop and went to create alert.
Okay. Okay.
And then scroll down to
Notify with.
yep.
I have it on send mobile. Okay. Oh, and we got text messages. See, I didn't have text messages
I don't
covered.
even I forgot all about.
Okay.
Are you on your you were in your live account?
I am.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
it's
because I don't think it gives you the same stuff in your sim.
yeah, you get play sound, email, and push
Mm-hmm.
notifications, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I just selected send text messages. So I wonder if that, do you have to pick that every time? I hope not.
No, I usually oh, you know what?
I will have to pick it for every alert. That's going
You
to be
do, you
irritating.
probably do.
Uh,
Because I don't see a button for default to say set as default.
mm-hmm. I don't
But that
either.
would be great if they had that.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, I don't see a let me see. So under market watch, you were saying that you were like that you can't find it. Or you were like I can't find it once it leaves the screen. If you go here to market watch and then alerts, it'll show you the alerts.
Oh, okay. 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 Because I didn't know that either. So I can see which alerts were triggered. Aye, aye, aye. So
Yep,
much to know here.
yep,
Okay. Because sometimes, like, if I don't see it, like, how am I supposed to know?
right.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. It'll
Cool.
tell you which ones are active and which ones are triggered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably the same thing where you could change your columns possibly.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you all have any use for the scans that you can create inside of Thinkorswim, but I watched a video to teach you how to create, very simply, how to create scans. Like for me, if I'm looking for a certain candle pattern, I can create a scan inside of Thinkorswim, and then you can run the scan, and it'll bring up the stocks that like meet your scan criteria. And it was a very simple video. I don't know if anybody really uses scans here, but
I have used them before, and I do think that they're definitely something that should be added to the search. You know, looking for stocks and stuff like that. Definitely.
mhm. You got to know what you want, really what you want to be looking, like what you want it to scan for. So that way you can create the scan. It's very simply, but you got to kind of got to know what you're looking for.
All right, everybody. All right, listen. Do you have anything else you want to?
Today's Wednesday, yeah. So definitely for those of us who are in that SPY trade, you're going to want, if you're in a SPY iron condor from yesterday, we do the 1 DTE. So if you're in SPY or triple Q, SPY is currently holding at like 527 area, and our trade, mine is 524, 525. So it's definitely breached, as we would call it. Okay, so if that's the case, you got two options. You can buy to close it right now and be done with it, move on to the next thing, or you can give it some more time. It's only 10:45, so the market's been open just a little over an hour. And remember, for our seller trades, we need it to be below your strike at expiration. And the more time passes, the time decay will start eating on those premiums, so you got a better chance of bringing it back down. But if you're thinking it's not going to do what you want it to do, you can always buy to close. All right, you can close these whenever you want. I always want to make that clear. You can buy to close whenever you want. Check out the chart, look at what it's doing in price action, and if you don't think it's going to bring itself back down into your strike place, then you can buy to close it and be done with it. Take a smaller loss, because at this point the trade is not at max loss. Right at this point, my trade is 524, 525, and it's worth $90. Right, so I took in 20 or 30, I think it was. No, not 30. I don't think I took in 30. I took in I think I said what I did, 524, 525. I did take in $30. Take it back. I took in $30. So if I close it at 90, that means I'm losing 60 of my own dollars, right? I'm losing $60 of mine, but it's not a max loss, which would be 10 more dollars. Or you could just wait. You could just wait and see what some more time in the day holds for you. There's no I won't say benefit. The only benefit now is if I close it right now, I'm going to save $10 of loss, basically. So you kind of can wait and see whether SPY hits some resistance and turns back for the day, or you can close it. I just want you to know that any of these, you can always close them on your own whenever you want if you're not sure. But the put credit spread sides on that SPY and triple Q trade, both of those put credit spread sides are done. So they've both closed out. So that's the way, you got till expiration, which is the end of the day, but you do want to close it yourself. Don't leave it to expire, because SPY and triple Q, then the broker is going to close it where they want it, which will probably be the dollar, but because it's not worth any more. Remember, these one spread trades are worth no more than $1. So if you took in 30, the most you can lose is $70, because they're going to take their 30 back, right? They gave you 30. They're going to take their 30 back, and they're going to take $70 more. You can also just give it some time and wait to see. All right. Another thing to do would be to, buy back the sell leg. I wouldn't suggest that, especially because SPY doesn't look like it's trying to climb at this point. It just looks like it's kind of holding here and maybe trying to come down a little bit. When I'm looking at the price, it's trying to, I'm fine with it coming on back down. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time and space to see what it wants to do. All right. That's just me. I'll enter again at midday-ish, 1 o'clock, because when I pull up my, I have a spreadsheet of the trades that I've done on the daily 1 DTEs, and triple Q actually has done better than SPY. So I'm probably going to go back to just doing triple Q. I did triple Q by itself a few days, and I did SPY and triple Q above a couple of days. And I just may go back to just triple Q, because SPY seems to breach more often than triple Q does. So looking at the last 10, 12 days is how long I've been doing it. I see triple Q really seems to act better than SPY. SPY got a lot more volume and volatility, and triple Q, because it's got a smaller segment of stocks, because it's just the tech stocks, it seems to behave a little bit better, right? So there's that. Tomorrow night, we do have our close out of the Options 411 live coaching. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We're going to close that out. We're going to wrap everything up. We're going to have graduation. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to have all that tomorrow night. So if you're part of the live coaching, we look forward to seeing you there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the notification bell. Put the thumb up on this video. We want to be here all the time, and we want you all to know when we're here. Jamie, I hear that microphone. We want you all to know. Jesus. Call him up, call Jesus. We call Jesus when we need help. Yes, we do. Jamie probably already talked about the membership, but it's always open. You can always join us over there. People who want access to the community and access to me, you can definitely, come on and join up in the membership. It's at educatortotrader.com. It's $97 a month. We have a Telegram where we trade together. We hang out together. We do all the fun stuff together as option sellers, because, a lot of people don't be checking for us, but, we still over here doing it and making it do what it do. Okay. All righty, everybody. I think that might have been all that I wanted to talk about this morning. Jamie, you can have the con back.
I was waiting for doing it.
And doing it well.
Yeah.
Doing it
well. Oh, wait a minute. That's where we're going with this?
Now, I live a life of music. It's right. Weird. My brain runs in music notes.
Right. I understand. Listen, when I was growing up playing the drums, and we was playing in church, but so of course they telling us that we can't listen to quote worldly music.
Secular music.
But I'm like, I don't care what y'all say. The best drummers that I was hearing was rock drummers and jazz drummers.
Yeah.
And so that's who I started patterning my style
Mhm.
after, is those two.
Mhm.
Because of that, I started listening to all kind of music. So my
Mhm.
music catalog is everything. We got everything from Beethoven all the way to the Isley Brothers. Like, it don't even, with gospel in there. I mean,
I mean,
so
all the music ties in together. You just gotta.
it
It's just,
does.
it all
It
ties in together.
does. It
Yeah.
truly does. All right. We're gonna swing by SPX, see if SPX did any hip wiggling. Oh, check it out. Trying
Yeah,
to
it's
break
still
out.
going up.
Okay.
52.83. It's still going up.
Okay. Look at
Hmm.
you. So, same deal. Going back, seeing if there's a level above there that could turn it around, which is if it's at highs, probably not. But I'm going to check in it, man. So in this case, I would be looking at a put credit spread for the PDT breakout. I like the fact that this is a strong candle that's pushing out of here. So that's great. That doesn't mean I don't necessarily like that there's indecision on the next candle, but
Yeah,
the
because
fact
that could be an exhaustion candle.
exactly. So the fact that
Hmm.
it broke out, I do
Now
like
you got to
that.
see if your line becomes support or not.
Yep. So where I will
Hmm.
be looking though to start my investigation would be, and I noticed for sometimes with um SPX and Russell, I will notice that at some point in the day on the simulated version, it seems like you won't be able to place any more trades on for that day, 0 DTE. It's almost like they go, skip, and it won't be like in the after, like in the power hour time frame. So I noticed that recently trying to do some 0 DTEs that they were not available on think I'll speak for Thinkorswim, but so I probably would be looking about 52.80. That's what I think. Why 52.80? Because the spread is less than $1. So I'll be looking for $1 or less spread in this situation. It is close to the price. And I will be looking to, let me see. Here you go. This will be better. 52.65 will be better. Somewhere in there. Close enough. Let me see. Let me see how many coins they talking about. Yeah, I'm all right with that. With 60, I'm all right with that. Because my take profit amount would be $45 anyway. So anyway, that's where I would start the investigation to see what's going down. And but I'll wait to see what happens with this particular candle. All right. So let us mosey on over to our E2T daily declaration. By faith, I'm a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolio. Money likes me. Dinero me encanta. Because money is comfortable around me, it is drawn to me. E2T, daily prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. Okay, chickadees. Don't forget, we still have some events happening throughout the day, all the way up until close. So we got to trade what we see on the chart, but also trade it with your head on the swivel. Be aware that there is news that will come through unexpectedly. So make sure you prepare for that. I can't tell you how to, work your stops and all the other stuff. I'm not saying all that, but I am saying be prepared for some anything. Right? So you all have a great trading day. We wish you much success in your trading journey on this day. If we don't see you in the Telegram group, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on tomorrow's stream. All right. Have a good one, and we will talk to you later.